This recording is Sabbath Streams Ministries Sabbath service on February 9th, 2019. Today our Torah readings are from Exodus chapter 25:1 through 27:19. The HAFTARAH is 1 Kings chapter 5:26 through 6:13. The Gospel is from Mark chapter 12:35 through 44. Elizabeth's message today is about the building of the tabernacle.
Nice if we can to go ahead and gather tonight for the next month, because we've started the month of Adar. We get the 2 months this time of Adar. The month of Adar is a month to increase your joy in preparation for Passover. Okay, so in the month of Adar we get to increase our joy, and since we get 2 months of Adar, because this is a leap year, I know it's complicated, but Passover has to be in the spring, and in order to keep it in the spring, they have a leap year where they set in an extra month every so often to keep Passover in the spring. And because of that, we get 2 months of Adar. There is only one Purim, and it will be in the second month. And we'll be having Purim here on the 20th, I think, March. It's a Wednesday evening. It'll be a fun party. And we will talk about how God works through hidden things, because that's what Purim is about, how God works when we don't see him at work, right? The book of Esther is the only book where God's name is never mentioned, and yet he brings a great deliverance. So, having said all that, tonight, 6 o'clock for a meal. Bring something to share. If you can make it, great. I understand if we got 4 inches of snow, maybe it's not the best idea for some of us. But, you know. Huh? Yeah. It will warm up in here soon, and in order to warm it up, how about we start with Hallelujah Adonai? Does that help get you warm enough?
Too much yet.
So for Hallelujah Adonai,
Everybody gets them.
everybody needs an instrument. Janie's getting her shofar.
Everybody needs them.
Would you like to borrow my tambourine?
No.
Everyone needs an instrument or a flag. Or they have to join the dance circle. And or they have to join the dance circle.
She showed me how to use it earlier. No, it's kind of heavy.
Greg, do you have your cowbell?
I got my cowbell.
All right.
I'm never without my cowbell.
She's looking at you, buddy.
You always have to have more cowbell.
They at the school, at my school in Taft, they brought this giant bell every time we got a goal, and they'd ring it. You know, ring it. It was just, it was awesome.
It's a gold bell.
your house to praise you and to honor you. And this is a very different day. I thank you that we are able to be here. I thank you that in the midst of the storm outside, you are the good God, and you are the God who is here, and you are the God who cares for us. Oh. And you are the God who makes all things work together for good to those who love you. So I thank you for that. And I ask that you would be blessed today as we worship you. And I ask that everything we do would bring honor and glory to you in the name of Jesus, our Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Let's do bless the Lord, O my soul. And I am getting over a cold, so if I start coughing, just ignore it. And keep singing, right?
Okay. Sing to the beat, or cough to the beat.
Huh?
Cough to the beat.
Or that'd be good. I'm a whole lot better today than I was. I know it doesn't sound like it, but man, it's been a crazy week. So. Worship is
back to the overhead. It's not working right.
It's not working, huh?
Barely see anything.
It's cold.
One of those days.
It is cold.
Put a blanket on it.
Put a blanket on it?
Yeah, so it's warm. Dance in the circle.
No, that will run over me and will take over and say, no, I'm the dancer. I think my brain froze.
Oh, you're good. We have fun here.
We have fun.
Yeah,
We
let's,
have fun here.
yeah, let's go ahead and do Days of Elijah, just because I like it.
That's a good reason.
It's a good reason to do it, and, what?
Hey, we all got someplace to do.
Days of Elijah, these are the days of Elijah, these are the days, watching the news and seeing everything that's going on and
Loud.
it's too loud? Oh, well, I can't hear it at all because of the way the speakers are.
This one? Okay. So just, I'll ask you this way.
I don't even know which one is my voice.
Fuck.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Is that turning it down better? No.
It's not necessarily loud.
Yeah, I just don't know which it is, and I don't know how it got changed. I know. Nobody touches anything here, and it still gets changed, right? I think this one was number 1, isn't it? No.
No, I got you.
Okay. Is it the overall volume of all of it?
It's your voice. It's
Ready to pick you up that much?
Is that more better?
Yeah, find out, right?
That's better.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not as close either. Right. These are the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. These are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness And we've already had the shofar calls, so. Good. Joy, would you lead us in the Shema today again? Are you willing to do that?
Always.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right?
Excellent.
It's okay, we're gonna use it.
They will need copies of the.
Everyone please stand.
Read it. Everyone stand.
And the words are in your little.
They're in the bulletin thing, whatever that's called. Yeah, right inside that. He's already played the shofar, so today we're just going to go ahead and go through them, right? Is that okay?
Israel, the Lord our God is the Lord is one, and blessed be the name of his glorious kingdom forever and ever.
Today I'm going to explain all this stuff up here. It's part of the Torah portion, so it's kind of fun that way. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechiyot legoyim v'natan lanu Yeshua HaMashiach or Olam. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctifies us with your commandments and has commanded us to be a light unto the nations, and has given us Yeshua, the Messiah, the light of the world. Let's do Jesus Messiah. He became sin who knew no sin, that we might become his righteousness. He humbled himself, carried the cross. Love so amazing, love so old sign library and now it's gone. Let's do Mikamaka.
Yeah, this can make a book.
Who Our Torah portions today are readings out of the scripture, begin in the book of Exodus, and we're going to read out of the book of Exodus and then out of 1 Kings, and then we're going to read out of the Gospel of Mark. And what we're reading today are the stories of the building of the place for God's dwelling. Okay? So this is the building of the tabernacle in the middle of the desert. There are Bibles in the backs of the pews if you want to follow along. It's called Terumah, which means contribution or gift or offering. And so it's talking about God telling Moses to get an offering or a contribution from the people. Everyone is to contribute to this. Beginning in Exodus chapter 25, Joy's going to read the first 22 verses, and then Chris will take over from there.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold, silver, and brass, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skin dyed red, and the badger skins, and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without shalt thou overlay it, and thou shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. And 2 rings shall be in one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horn shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. Oops. Turn 2 pages. Okay. Yes, I did. Okay, I am on verse 15. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, they shall not be taken from it, which thou shalt put into the ark, the testimony which I shall give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shalt thou make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings. And their faces shall look to one another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel.
Chris is going to read the next section, which just continues that to the end of chapter 25.
Okay, 25 verse 23. You shall make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long and 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. You shall overlay it with pure gold and make a gold border around it. You shall make it for it a rim, a handbreadth around it, and you shall make a gold border for the rim around it. You shall make 4 gold rings for it, and put rings on the 4 corners, which are on its 4 feet. The rings shall be close to the rim as borders for the holes to carry the table. You shall make the poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with gold, so that with them the table may be carried. You shall make its dishes, and its pans, and its jars, and its bowls, with which to pour drink offerings. You shall make them of pure gold. You shall set the bread of the presence on the table before me at all times. Then you shall make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand and its base and its shaft are to be made of hammered work. Its cups, its bowls, and its flowers shall be of one piece with it. 6 branches shall go out from its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand from its one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand from its other side. 3 cups shall be shaped like almond blossoms in the one branch, a bulb and a flower, and 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms in the other branch, a bulb and a flower. So for 6 branches going out from the lampstand. And in the lampstand 4 cups shaped like almond blossoms, its bulbs and its flowers. A bulb shall be under the first pair of branches coming out of it, and a bulb under the second pair of branches coming out of it, and a bulb under the third pair of branches coming out of it, for the 6 branches coming out of the lampstand. Their bulbs and their branches shall be of one piece with it. All of it shall be one piece of hammered work of pure gold. Then you shall make its lamps 7 in number, and they shall mount its lamps so as to shed light on the space in front of it. Its snuffers and their trays shall be of pure gold. It shall be made from a talent of pure gold, and all these utensils. See that you make them after the pattern for them, which was shown to you on the mountain.
Helene is going to read chapter 26, verses 1 through 14, as we continue the description of what is being built.
Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twisted linen and blue and purple and scarlet material. You shall make them with cherubim, the work of a skillful workman. The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. All the curtains shall have the same measurements. 5 curtains shall be joined to one another, and the other 5 curtains shall be joined to one another. You shall make loops of blue on the edge of the outermost curtain in the first set, and likewise you shall make them on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the second set. You shall make 50 loops in the one curtain, and you shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is in the second set. The loops shall be opposite each other. You shall make 50 clasps of gold and join the curtains to one another with the clasp, so that the tabernacle will be a unit. Then you shall make curtains of goat's hair for a tent over the tabernacle. You shall make 11 curtains in all. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains shall have the same measurements. You shall join 5 curtains by themselves, and the other 6 curtains by themselves, and you shall double over the 6th curtain at the front of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the first set, and the 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in the second set. You shall make 50 clasps of bronze, and you shall put the clasp into the loops and join the tent together so that it will be a unit. The overlapping part that is left over in the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that is left over, shall lap over the back of the tabernacle. the cubit on one side and the cubit on the other of what is left over in the length of the curtains of the tent shall lap over the sides of the tabernacle on one side and on the other to cover it. You shall make a covering for the tent of ram's skin dyed red and a covering of turquoise skins above.
I was reading, I cannot imagine how it's the measurements.
Craig's gonna read the last part of our Torah portion for today. We're gonna skip a little bit in the book. We're gonna go to Genesis 26, verse 30.
Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
Exodus.
Exodus,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yes.
I'm looking at the word. What? I don't know why I said that. Exodus 26, verse 30 through 27, verse 2.
You shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet material of fine twisted linen. It shall be made with cherubim, the work of a skillful workman. You shall hang it on 4 pillars of acacia overlaid with gold, their hooks also being of gold, on 4 sockets of silver. You shall hang up the veil under the clasps, and shall bring in the ark of the testimony there within the veil, and the veil shall serve for you as a partition between the holy place and the Holy of Holies. You shall put the mercy seat on the ark of the testimony in the Holy of Holies. You shall set the table outside the veil, and the lampstand out opposite the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And you shall put the table on the north side. You shall make a screen for the doorway of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet material, and fine twisted linen, the work of a weaver. You shall make 5 pillars of acacia for the screen, and overlay them with gold, their hooks also being of gold, and you shall cast 5 sockets of bronze for them. And you shall make the altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar shall be square, and its height shall be 3 cubits. You shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay it with bronze. You shall make it overlay with bronze.
Overlay with bronze. The very last part of the Torah portion for today, I'm going to read verse 16 through 19 of Exodus 27, because we go through that. For the gateway of the courtyard, there is to be a screen 30 feet long, made of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, finely woven linen. It should be in colors, the work of a weaver. It is to be on 4 posts and 4 sockets. All the posts all the way around the courtyard are to be banded with silver and to stand in sockets of bronze. The length of the courtyard is to be 150 feet and the width 75 feet everywhere, with the height 7.5 feet. The tapestries and screens are to be of finely woven linen, and the sockets are to be of bronze. And all the equipment needed for every kind of service in the tabernacle, as well as the tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the courtyard, are to be of bronze. Janie's going to come and read out of 1 Kings, chapter 6, verses 1 through 13. We just read about the instructions for the building of the tabernacle. We're going to read about Solomon building the temple itself.
Now it came about in the 480th year after the sons of Israel came out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of the Lord. As for the house which King Solomon built for the Lord, its length was 60 cubits, and its width 20 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. The porch in front of the nave of the house was 20 cubits in length, corresponding to the width of the house, and its depth along the front of the house was 10 cubits. Also for the house he made windows with artistic frames. Against the wall of the house he built stories encompassing the walls of the house around both the nave and the inner sanctuary. Thus he made side chambers all around. The lowest story was 5 cubits wide, and the middle was 6 cubits wide, and the third was 7 cubits wide. For on the outside he made offsets in the wall of the house all around, in order that the beams would not be inserted into the walls of the house. The house, while it was being built, was built of stone prepared at the quarry, and there was neither hammer nor axe nor any iron tool heard in the house while it was being built. The doorway for the lowest side chamber was on the right side of the house, and they would go up by winding stairs to the middle story, and from the middle to the third. So he built the house and finished it, and he covered the house with beams and planks of cedar. He also built the stories against the whole house, each 5 cubits high, and they were fastened to the house with timbers of cedar. Now the word of the Lord came to Solomon, saying, concerning this house which you are building, if you will walk in my statutes and execute my ordinances, and keep all my commandments by walking in them, then I will carry out my word with you, which I spoke to David your father. I will dwell among the sons of Israel, and will not forsake my people Israel.
We're gonna jump to the book of Mark, the New Testament. Mark chapter 12, verses 35 through 44. Bobby's going to come and read that out loud for us.
Jesus began to say as he taught in the temple, how is it that the scribes say that Christ is the son of David? David himself said in the Holy Spirit, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies beneath your feet. David himself calls him Lord. So in what sense is he his son? And the large crowd enjoyed listening to him. In his teachings, he was saying, beware of the scribes who like to walk around in long robes and like respectful greetings in the marketplace and cheap seats in the synagogues and places of honor at banquets, who devour widows' houses and for appearance sake offer long prayers. These will receive greater condemnation. And he sat down opposite the treasury and began observing how the people were putting money into the treasury. And the many rich people were putting in large sums. A poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins, which amount to a cent. Calling his disciples to him, he said to them, truly I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all the contributors in the treasury. For they all put in out of their surplus. But she, out of her poverty, put in all she owned, all she had to live on.
I'm going to do a song I don't do very often. It's called In Your Presence. I think we have it in You know, I've heard a lot of different teachings on the tabernacle. I've heard a lot of different teachings on what everything represents, and there are so many different aspects of what God put together when He put together the tabernacle. When He put together, when He commanded Moses actually to put it together. See, here's the first thing I want to say. If you want God's presence on earth, you have to make the space for it. No? He created it. Says He created the earth, and then He put a garden in the midst of it. And in that garden, He put Adam and Eve. He created the earth for us. He doesn't need the air. He doesn't need the atmosphere. He doesn't need gravity. He doesn't need any of that stuff. He's God, right? But He created it for us. And because He created it for us, He came and He visited with us in the garden, right? That beautiful, wonderful, perfect spot that He put there with a beautiful, wonderful, perfect man and perfect woman and all of that, and we messed it up royally, right? Messed it up. And when Adam and Eve left the garden, what did He put at the doorway? Remember the entrance to the garden? What? The cherubim. He put 2 angels at the door, at the gate to Eden. And in their hands was what? Flaming swords. So in other words, you can't go back. We can't go there. There's swords in the hands of the angels at the entrance to the garden. So we can't go back to God's presence that way. But God wants to have a place with people. Because He created us for Him. He created us to have a relationship with Him. And because He created us to have a relationship with Him, He provides for ways for us to have that relationship. We can't go into the garden. What He did was He asked Moses to build a tabernacle, kind of a Garden of Eden. Moses, build me a place that I can dwell, that God can dwell. There's some really phenomenal mystery things about the tabernacle, including the Ark of the Covenant. And I don't know how many of you ever watched Indiana Jones, you know, and he goes after this ark and all that stuff. He's trying to find this mystical, magical, whatever thing, and that's all made up, by the way. It's a wonderful theory. Wonderful theory. There's 3 different places the ark could be, but I'll tell you what I believe about where the ark probably is, because the Jewish scribes and the teachers have long said that when Solomon built the temple, he also built caves underneath the mount. He built a way down there, and before they could come and destroy the temple the last time, when they conquered, when they came, the king of that day took the ark, and he buried it deep within the mountain. So I believe it's there. It'll be found someday, probably when Yeshua comes. Because it says the Messiah will set everything right, so I think He's the one that's going to find it. He's the one that's going to show it to us. But that doesn't mean there won't be something else before that. One of the first things about the tabernacle that I find interesting is that it says, tell the people to take up a collection for me, accept a contribution from anyone who wholeheartedly wants to give. So the very first part is, we have to have a heart for it. We have to have a heart for relationship with God. If we don't have a heart for relationship with God, we're not going to have a relationship with Him. It's simple as that. So it has to come from our heart. It has to come from our heart. The other interesting thing to me is that when He describes it, when He begins telling Moses how to build it, He starts with what's inside. He starts with the innermost. He starts with the Ark of the Covenant. He starts with the place He says He's going to talk to us from. He starts with the center, the heart. That's where it starts. Very center. See, God's always been about our hearts. He's always been about our heart. When we read in the Gospel of Mark, it says that Yeshua sat down opposite the temple treasury and He watched the crowds, and a lot of rich people came in and they put in a lot of money. And why did they do that? Because they wanted attention, right? The outward appearance. And that's what He just warned them about, the outward appearance. It's not the outward appearance that counts. It's what's in our heart. that counts. It's not how many rings we can wear, it's not whether or not we've got all these rings from the Super Bowl, right? And those guys that won last week, they have more rings than anybody. Ridiculous. But it's not about that. It's not about how many rings you have. It's not about what gold you have. It's not about how big your house is or how poor your house is. It's not about physical at all. It's about the heart. And it says that the woman came in a widow, and she put in just a little tiny bit. She put a couple pennies in. But it's all she had. It's all she had. And it doesn't matter why she put it in terms of whether or not it had been coerced from her. I don't think it had been. But the fact is that she gave. When we go back to the tabernacle, we read about what they gave. The people gave, they brought things to the tabernacle, and they built a place for God. Now, in this tabernacle, if you ever want to know what God's face looks like, look at the tabernacle. Sounds a little funny, doesn't it? But it does. And that's exactly what all of this up here represents, is the tabernacle. That's what it represents. I'm going to walk around a little bit. This represents the Ark of the Covenant. In this Ark is the Book of the Covenant. This is our Torah scroll. Now, it's a small scroll. It's a student scroll, but it's a Torah scroll. This has the Word of God, the first 5 books, in Hebrew. So if you ever want to learn Hebrew, we can work on that a little. I've been working on it. I can identify almost all the letters now. I can even pronounce some of the words. I'm getting there. But it's not an easy task to learn a new language, right? But it's worth it. This is the Ark, and it represents how God speaks to man. Because he said from between the cherubim, he would speak to man. Now, there are 2 angels at the door to Eden, and they have swords, right? There are 2 angels on the Ark of the Covenant. They do not have swords. They're not there to keep us away from God. They're there to bring us to God. There's a difference. They're there to bring us in. And on top of the Ark are the angels that want to usher us into the presence of God. You can almost say this is the brain of God. This is his thinking part. This is where he's at, right? This is his thoughts written down for us. And in the Ark of the Covenant, in the tabernacle, was a copy of the scroll as Moses wrote it. It was a copy of the commandments as Moses wrote them, along with a couple other things. Then on either side, then there's a curtain, right? There's a curtain. Now, we have it open. We have it open for a reason, because when Yeshua died, when Jesus died, that curtain was ripped in 2. I will tell you what I think that means. The curtain is like God's cloak. It cloaked him, it covered him, right? According to the Talmud, if you are where someone dies, if you see them breathe their last breath, you are to rip your cloak, rip your garment. From top to bottom, you're to rip it. Why? Because their life has just been ripped from them. Their life is gone. So you rip your garment. And in fact, in the gospel, when it talks about Yeshua breathed his last, said he breathed his last, and the curtain in the temple ripped from top to bottom. I believe that was God ripping his cloak. A mourning over the fact that his son died. He saw him die. He sees us. But in that death, a way is made for us to come into his presence. Next to, and I probably should turn on the light, huh, Craig?
It's okay.
It's okay? It's very light up here, too. Just on this side of the doorway, the tent, the curtain, there's a menorah. Now, the ark uses a candle, doesn't use oil. In the tabernacle, there would be oil. It would be lit every morning. Every morning, the priest would come in and he would clean it. He would make sure it was all ready to go. Every evening, they would light it. It would be lit throughout the whole night. It was to stay forever burning. One of the miraculous things about the temple in the days just preceding Yeshua was that after they lit the menorah in the days of the Maccabees, when they lit it, and the oil lasted the whole time while they were able to make new oil, the center light never went out from that time until the time of Yeshua, until the time of Jesus. Central light stayed lit. The oil lasted. And the oil represents the Spirit of God, but it also represents something else, the light. On this side, now this is a really bad representation, but it's the best we had. It's what we could come up with. Was the table of showbread. On this table was a loaf of bread. Okay? Yeah, right now we don't have any bread on it, sorry. But a loaf of bread, and it was unleavened bread. No leavening. So it's flat bread. Always before the presence of God, there's not to be leaven. The only time we have leaven in the offering is at Shavuot or at Pentecost. But flat bread, and there were 12 loaves, one for each of the tribes, and it was called showbread. Why? Because it sat there and you looked at it. It was a representation of the tribes before God, and God looked at the tribes. He saw them. This was how it was, and it sat there all week. Here's another of the miracles of the tent, the tabernacle, and of the temple. The end of the week, before Shabbat, they would bring 12 new loaves. They would take out the old loaves, they would put the new loaves in, and then they would take the loaves of bread and spread it among the priests, the Levites that were serving in the temple. Now, have you ever had bread that sat out in the air all week? Doesn't sound good, does it? Here's part of the miracle. It was as fresh as the time they put it in. It was fresh every week. So when they came and they got the bread, and they began breaking it and sharing it amongst the Levites, beginning with the high priest who would take a piece, pass it to the next, they would take, and it would be passed, and they would share it among all of them. And up to about 100 years before Jesus was born, during the days of, I can't remember his name, I got to write it down. The last of the high priests that was considered righteous, I think it was Simon the Righteous, he was Simon the Righteous. When he passed it around, there would be enough bread, and it would keep going, and it would keep going, and everybody would eat their little bit that they broke off, and they would be full because there was plenty. And every single person that served in the temple would have enough from that bread, from this loaf. Now, there were over 100 people working in the temple at any given time. That's not enough bread for 100 people, right? It's not. But here's the miracle of grace. There was always enough bread. Now, think about it. When Yeshua came, and he's on the mountain, and he's teaching all these people that are hungry, right? Feed them, the disciples said. Send them away and let them get food. And Jesus said, feed them what we have. He said, well, we only have 5 little loaves and 3 fish. That's not even 12 loaves, right? And he began breaking it, and they began passing it around, and there was, what, more than enough, right? He's repeating the miracle of Simon the Righteous. He's repeating the miracle, and everyone there would have known that, because they knew that story. That was as good of a story as Paul Revere writing out with the news the British are coming. It was that common of a story. Everybody knew the story. So when there's bread, and he's breaking it, and there's more than enough, they're all going, whoa, he's more righteous than Simon because there were only 5 loaves. Not even 12. And it filled 12 baskets. The showbread, you looked at it. The light needed it to look. Now, in front of that, we don't have, I'm not sure why we don't, but we've never done it, except at Yom Kippur. There was an incense. A bowl, an altar of incense, where incense would have been burned. Cool thing about the incense. When it was time for the high priest to go into the Holy of Holies, and the curtain was closed, he would burn the incense to the point that he could not see his hand in front of his face. That's how thick the smoke of the incense was supposed to be. He could see his hand in front of his face, and then he would walk through the curtain. He didn't open the curtain, he just walked through it. The curtain was about 12 inches thick. We're not talking a little skinny curtain that you could just push and go underneath it. It was heavy. It was thick. It was wide. And he would walk through the curtain into the Holy of Holies. In the midst of the smoke coming up from the altar of incense. The incense represents our prayers before God. It's a picture of our prayers before God. Other thing, incense has to do with what we smell, right? We smell it. And it fills our air. Did you know that your sense of smell is one of the first senses you develop? And it's one of the last senses to go in a normal, healthy person. A sense of smell can bring back a memory that nothing else can. The sense of smell. And in front of the altar there would have been another doorway, another curtain. On this curtain were more angels, by the way. The cherubim over the ark, there was a cherubim over the curtain, in the curtain. They were woven in. And in front of that would have been another doorway. But in front of that doorway would be an altar. The altar where the sacrifices were burned, where the meat was cooked. I know we don't think about it that way, but there's a truth to that, that they would bring the sacrifice, it would be laid on the altar, some of it would be burnt up completely, some of it would be taken and shared among the priests as their food, and some of it, if you brought a Thanksgiving offering to celebrate before God, that would be given back to you, and you would invite everyone you knew to a feast, and you have a feast before God. Giant barbecue. And that's kind of what it was. I know, everyone laughs at that idea. But it's true. Some of it, yes, the fat got burned up completely. But some of that meat was meant to be shared. This is a table. We don't have a temple anymore. We don't have a place to take our burnt offerings to the Lord. But we have a table. And every Friday night, it is said that as the candles are lit for Shabbat, God's presence is ushered in, and this becomes your altar of sacrifice. And that's what the Shabbat table is to be about. It is to be your altar dedicating yourself, your time, and your service to the Lord. Every man becomes a priest before God as he sits there and as we share the food, as we share the bread, as we share all of it. It's almost as if, and all of this goes in our mouth, right? This is what we eat. This is what is there. If you looked down at the temple, if you looked down from up here, down into the tabernacle, you would see these laid out in a kind of an interesting way. And if you look at it just right, what you're going to see are the eyes, and the nose, and the mouth, and you see a face looking back at you. And in the tabernacle, the temple is the face of God. It is the face of God for us. When you study it, when you look at all the different aspects of it, from how big it was to what every piece was made out of, every part of it points back to a picture of God and who He is. Every bit of it. And every bit of it points to a picture of our Messiah and who He is. Every bit of it. One of the things about the tabernacle was from this point out, you would come out into an open area, and then this was the open courtyard, and anyone could come here. Anyone and everyone was welcome into the courtyard. Only Levites and priests went beyond the burnt offering, but that was out here where everyone got it. The altar, where the sacrifices were laid, was out in the courtyard where everyone could come. Everyone could come. I say that because when Solomon built his temple, he made it bigger. Bigger than the tabernacle. And everyone could come to the courtyard. Everyone. It was mixed. Now, true, once you did your offering here, going into the holy place, where you had the menorah and the table of showbread, that was only the priests. Only the Levites who were serving. Into the Holy of Holies, only the high priest, only once a year. And only after he'd gone through this major process of sacrifices, after he had purified himself, after he prayed and purified the people, after he prayed and purified the place, then he could go on in. But in the courtyard, everyone was welcome. By the time we get to Herod's temple, they had portioned it off. By the time we get to Herod's temple, they had portioned it off, and there was a wall in the open courtyard. So you now end up with 4 pieces to the temple. In the open courtyard were the court of the Gentiles and the women. Ain't that wonderful? Gentiles and women out here. Then there was this place for only Jewish men, and there was a wall. And on that wall, the words said that if you are a Gentile and you pass this point, you will die. You will die. Now, whether or not they would kill you or whether or not they expected God to kill you is a whole other story, and the Talmud represents both. It tells us that both could occur. But someone who would go past that wall, that division, that said that only Jewish men could come here, then only Levites, only priests, only the high priest, right? It was all portioned off. Now, when Yeshua cleansed the temple, and he cleansed it of the guys selling all the stuff at Passover, right? They were selling lambs, and they were selling doves, and they were selling all the stuff. And guess where they were at? According to the Gentiles and the women. And they were taking up all that space. And they made it a marketplace. And if you as a Gentile were bringing an offering to the God of Israel, which you could do, you were welcome to do that. They would look at your offering and tell you it wasn't good enough. That's okay, I'll give you $5 for that, but I bet this one over here is perfect. You pay me 10. That's what the Talmud tells us they were doing. They would take what was being brought to the house of God, and they would find fault with it intentionally, and then they would sell you a better product for more than they would give you for the one they found fault with. And they were making money off of people who were coming to worship God. And they were blocking the way. They were blocking the way. They built a wall and said, you can't come. You're a Gentile, you're a woman, you can't come here. They built a wall. Nowhere in Torah will you see that wall. It is not there. You will not find it even in the temple that Nehemiah, when he builds the wall around Jerusalem, and they build the temple in Haggai's day, you will not find that division. When you come to the book of Ezekiel, and he describes the temple in the New Jerusalem, and he describes the temple and the king coming through it in the kingdom, when Yeshua reigns from Jerusalem, you will not find that division there. In fact, you will find that the people come in one door, they bring their offering, and there's so many, they go out the next door. It's keep coming. And keep coming, there will be a continual offering before God, and a continual thanksgiving offering, and they will come from every nation.
Hallelujah.
Every nation. There is not to be a division. The division was made by man. The division was made by man who was afraid of the wrath of God and did not know the grace of God. They didn't know the grace of God. They became so afraid of God's judgment and so convinced that if they did the slightest thing wrong, God was going to judge us and he's going to wipe our nation out again. And oh my God, we just got back here and we don't even have our own king yet. We've got to keep it perfect. We can't allow a Gentile in because without a Gentile in, maybe God won't come. They made up all these rules that added to what the word said. The Apostle Paul, when he wrote in his book that the death of Yeshua broke down the dividing wall, he uses the same word that was used in the descriptions of that wall between the court of Gentiles and where the men could go. That's the wall that got broke down. He broke it down and said, you know what? Jesus said, God's word said this about the temple. This is to be a house of prayer for who? All nations. So they built a dividing wall that was not in Torah, that is not there anywhere. And they kept us out of fear, out of a lack of understanding. But mostly out of fear. In fact, I find that to be the case even today. If you want to go visit a synagogue, call ahead, let them know you're coming. Ask what the protocols are. You know why? Because if you show up at the synagogue and you are new and they don't know who you are, they're going to have a guard around you. Why are they going to have a guard around you? Well, because of anti-Semitism, because people have been going in and shooting them up, you know? People hurt Jewish people. There's a hatred in this world. Just last week in New York, there was another synagogue. We didn't read about this in the big news. Nobody got killed in this one. But they went in and they spray painted stuff all over the inside of the synagogue. They spray painted stuff. In November, when we were in Phoenix, or end of October, beginning of whenever that was, there was a synagogue that was having a prayer service on a Shabbat morning. And someone went in and shot a bunch of people. Do you remember that? It wasn't that long ago. The reason they don't want you there is because they're afraid. Why are they afraid? Because now they're not afraid of God's wrath, they're afraid of our wrath. They're afraid of people. But God said the division is not to be. The division is not to be. It was never supposed to be. When they came out of Egypt, they came as a mixed multitude, meaning there were people who were not sons and daughters of Abraham. They were not part of the 12 tribes. They came with them, and they were going to the promised land too. Why? Because the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is our God as well. He created all of it. The Jewish people were supposed to be a testimony of who God is. That sounds like us, doesn't it? Do you know the word Christian means Christ's one, or Christ follower, or like Christ? And it was a derogatory name at first, by the way. It was not used in a positive sense necessarily. Oh, those guys think the Messiah came. Oh, yeah, sure. We're supposed to be like him. We're supposed to represent him. We're supposed to take his face and shine it to the world. When the temple was built, Solomon built the temple. When the tabernacle was finished, there was a blessing that was always said. A blessing that was said. And in that blessing it says, well, you guys should know it, right? The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you. The Lord be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance, which basically means his face, upon you and give you peace. So may he look towards you, may he give you peace. May this dwelling place of God be a part of your life. A part of your life. Your life. It wasn't supposed to just be there in that one spot. It was supposed to say, this is the presence of God. Everyone come. Everyone come. Everyone come. From the widow, he gave her all. To even the rich people who were doing it just for show, God still wanted them to come. Because he wanted to clean them up. The temple was for all. It shows the glory of God. Do we show the glory of God? Do we show the light of God? Do we show the taste of how good God is? Do we show God? If we do, then we become a tabernacle before God. If you're not doing that, you ask God, why not? And how can I? And what do I, Lord, how do you change me? Because He's the one that changes us, right? And it starts inside the heart. That's where it starts. And I love the fact that He starts with the innermost part. Even in the description of the temple and the description of the tabernacle, He's going to go on and explain all the sides, all the tops. And by the way, there's 3 places there are angels represented in the tabernacle. One is over the Ark of the Covenant, those 2 that are there that face each other. Their wings ushering us in. There's angels in the tent, in the covering between the holy place and the Holy of Holies. There were angels woven in. And then at the very top, the tabernacle gets set up, and there's a kind of a blanket that goes over the top, and then there's another covering that goes over, and a third one. There's 3, and the middle layer is to have angels woven into its design. Is God protecting Himself from us? No, He's bringing us in. He's ushering us in. When we enter the presence of God, the angels are there. They're there. Last Saturday night, I got to tell you, that worship was phenomenal, wasn't it? Did you sense the angels?
Yeah.
You were gone, huh? Last Saturday night, as we were at worship, it was like there was a point at which I could just sit there because the angels were all around us, and I could feel them. It's like, I don't even want to open my eyes, because if I open my eyes, I know I'm not going to see them, because they're not in this physical realm, but I can feel them, and so I'm going to keep my eyes closed, and I'm just going to enjoy the presence of the angels dancing before the Lord. It's a weird place to be, but it's a good place. We're to represent that to the world, and we're to invite people to be a part of that. And how do we be a part of that? Through faith in the Messiah. Through Messiah, Yeshua. You see, when He died, He opened up for all of us. It was always supposed to be open. But in His righteousness, in His merit, we stand before God. In His righteousness. I can't be good enough. There's no way. I mess up right and left. But Yeshua, He's good enough. And He takes my offering that I bring to the table, and He takes it into the Holy of Holies before the presence of God, just like the high priest. And so my offering is before the presence of God. And God meets us. God meets us. And that's what this whole thing is about. God meeting us. And a place for God. And if we're willing, we can make that in our lives every day. You don't have to come into a place like this. Just have a place where you pray. And you say, God, be a part of this. I want you to be a part of my life today. Today. I want you to take care of what needs to be taken care of, because God, I can't do it, right? I can't do it, that's for sure. I can't do it, but Yeshua, our Messiah. The tabernacle, the face of God. Take it with you, keep it with you. You'll see it different now, won't you? But that's what all this represents. The face of God for us. And His face shines on us. Shines on us. That's part of the blessing. John, do you want to release us with the blessing? And I do have it in here. I can turn the page to it so you can see it. It's in the book. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Yeah, with it? No. Okay.
Keep Yivarech Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. The Lord bless you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. The Lord bless you. The Lord bless you and keep you. And keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. And be gracious unto you. And be gracious unto you. The Lord bless you. The Lord lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Hey!
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat.